So I'm doing some random puzzle sets now. I decided to forego attacking my weakest points a little bit and just do some random stuff. Hello, Shy. Welcome. Yeah, I'm not sure if I even expected myself to be alive, but I scheduled it and I followed through on the promise. I'm a little bit slow though, so I'm like secretly making coffee on the floor next to the stream. If I had a separate webcam, I'd show you how I do it because I think that might be fun and interesting, but not today. I'm thinking queen e4 because like I could take that queen, but I could also take that rook and take that queen. I'm pretty sure. Like queen e4, bishop d3, queen takes h1. Well, actually, yeah, queen takes h1, queen c1, and then pawn takes a2. Wins the queen. So I think this is it. Go figure. So they need to protect their bishop. Like such a Philistine right now. I nudged the volume a little bit. I hope that's good for you. I know for some people it's like deafening, and for other people it's not deafening. Definitely not. So here I could also take the queen right now. And they will have a bishop and a rook hanging at the same time. And I imagine nothing to do about it. I could also take this with check. The reason I don't want to go with my original plan is that now I want to take with check, they can take with the bishop. Probably. I'm just wondering if I could like add an in-between move and ruin their day as a result. They don't have moves like rook d8 because queen e4 happens again. So I'm really looking for a queen move here. I guess it would be queen d4. That doesn't look too good. So I think we have to take this queen. Yeah, I think a lot of these platforms have a prerogative not to be cross-compatible. I don't know if that's the terminology for it, but I think you know what I mean. Like they're incentivized to make it so that like things work just for YouTube, or things work just for Twitch, or things work just for Windows devices, etc. Because they want people to stay within their suite of things that they made and things that you have to pay for. It's a conspiracy. Except it's just capitalism. A2 is just getting a queen, right? I think queen a4 is forced. But then we have queen e8. But we're also a piece down So probably allowing queen takes a2 and queen takes e2 is not the best. Coffee's almost done. If a2 is happening, it has to happen now, but I'm not seeing the follow-up after queen a4. I mean, I could win back a minor piece, but we're already down a minor piece, so it doesn't seem thrilling. It might still be good, though. For example, a2, queen a4, and just as an example, like rook b8. Or even, yeah, let's just say rook b8, like I'm not even trying to win back my piece. Queen takes on a2, and then bishop takes b2. King b1. I can move my bishop wherever I want. So I might play something like knight c3, bishop takes, king back to c1. Because if king a2, then rook b2. And then here I could start just improving my pieces like rook b2. But I doubt that that's the answer that is best here. I think it's just evidence that black could play down a piece with some success. And only some success. Another idea is just to disturb the king, like take this. Or the first thing that came to my mind was actually take here and then play rook b8. Then they have to play king a2, I think. And this would be more or less an obvious solution if there was no bishop on d2, because then we would have knight b4 winning the queen. But in this case, I think not. We don't really have any useful checks. Well, at this point, I think winning back a minor piece with some enduring initiative is pretty good, so I'm going to go for that. It was none of the moves that I looked at. Yeah, what is the deal with this? Having a hard time even guessing the move. All these moves are starting to like just be ridiculous. So what's a move that's not ridiculous? Okay, this makes sense. Because it threatened me. And now I could play A2. But then they still have queen A4. Oh, but then I promote with protection from the bishop. That's a nice puzzle. I like that. Definitely a good solution there. So the idea was to provoke white into playing B3 so that we get control of the promotion square. It's pretty good. If we got like 2 moves in a row, we could do something like knight takes bishop, queen takes, bishop takes, and then knight takes A7, checkmate. That would be cool. But no such luck. We're also down a rook, so winning back in exchange or something is sort of stupid. It is coffee time. An important step in your calculation is not to skip coffee time. It's very important. If you haven't incorporated coffee into your calculation, it could be holding you back. So I'm smelling some mate type things. Like if I could get my knight on A7 and keep this diagonal under control, that would win the game. So let's say I just take this. I give a check. They do what they have to do. They go back. I give another check. They go here. I give another check. They go back. I play knight A7. I think I get my wish. Alright. So it's check. Oh, come on. Is it like there's a faster mate? Is it this one? But they're both mate, right? Oh, they have this move. That was sloppy. Mate was there for sure. It was sort of obvious, right in front of me. We're down a piece, so checkmate would be really good here. I expect to try to checkmate on like h1 or something, but they also have rook h2 to block. So maybe rook f4. Now here I think I need to throw in f2. Potentially. I'm just not sure where, somewhere along the way. The Discord livestream chat does work, but it looks like it doesn't show your username. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably Wombat Horse. Let me see. It is. So that was a solid guess. Yeah, it does work. I'm not sure how utilitarian it is. Let me know how you like it. The reason I'm hesitating here is when I look at moves like rook g4, after king h1, mate is not really in sight for me. I don't see it. It's not in my sight. And if I play queen g4, it's similar. I don't see how I'm getting enough firepower here to actually blow them away. So I'm starting to consider unusual moves like queen g3 and f2. In fact, possibly even that exact combination of moves. I'm just not sure if I should take on g4 first or something like that. Also, I woke up like 30 minutes ago, so I'm still adjusting here. I think I'm gonna be a little bit slow. But doing chess work, that's the important thing, that it gets done. So f2 prevents king h1, which is a move that troubled me in the other lines. What I'm wondering is, what if they play like rook takes? I take on g4, they block. Not exactly a success story. So maybe forcing king h1 and then playing f2 makes sense. So let's say queen g3. First of all, if they play king f1, is it kosher? Does it blend? Is it good? Well, I think I can play f2 anyway, because after rook takes, I have rook takes, queen takes, and rook f8. And with queen against rook and knight in this position, I think black would be doing really well. It'll be a pin. So I think they have to play king h1, and then after f2, how are they stopping queen f3? Great question, me. They probably will have to play like queen e2. To which I say rook takes b2, queen takes b2, and queen f3 rook g2, f1 queen, rook takes, queen takes, rook g1, and queen h3. And then they have queen h2, so it's not mate. Interesting line. The time locally for me is 8:23. Yeah, I got a late start today, but I also stayed up past midnight. Do I really have a 3-minute latency? I hope not, because you said 8:20 and I said 8:23. That's a big lag if true. So I'm still kind of stuck between these two. I think the problem that I have with this was that... Wait, did I even have a problem with this? They can take... I think that was just my problem. Actually, I have an idea. What if I'm just getting rid of this pawn so that I can open the way for a rook on f8? Like, just straight up giving it away. Like, I go here, they take. I play rook takes, check, they have to block. I play rook h4. Oof, but then they have rook g2 check. That kind of messes things up, I think. Yeah, instructions unclear. The latency might also be partly in my brain shy. I'm kind of leaning towards queen g3 because I think my other good ideas aren't that good. They have to play king h1. Then I play f2. They play queen e2. And then I should just not do something desperate in that position. Like, well, I'll figure it out. I think I have to start this way. And my idea here was to play f2. So they take, and of course rook to f8, and white resigns. But maybe they won't take, you know, maybe they'll play like rook g2 or something. I felt kind of fine with this because I could play queen h3. I think they have to play king g1. I'm not sure if this is an example of haste makes waste or not. I could just play rook takes g4, threaten mate on g1, and see how they like them apples. Like, I take these, they have to protect like this, of course, what else? And then I don't know, that's not that convincing. I think they are protecting it. They even have this, like, multiple ways of protecting it. No, actually, queen e3, there's queen h2, so they can only play queen f2. But one way is enough here. They're up a piece. So f2 might still be the winner of the chicken dinner. No, you didn't miss something. I'm just silly. I think that, yeah, f2, rook g2, king h. I'm sorry, rook, queen h3 was my variation. They can't play king g1 because there is a pawn on f2. So you didn't miss anything. Good looks. And it's probably winning. You know what? I think this move is good. I'm gonna play it. All right, that was it. A little bit of a faithful thing though. I'm just kind of eliminating lots of options and playing the one that I like at the end. Like, one line that I saw here was this, where queen e2 is what they will do, and I play rook takes b2, and I didn't see a definitive ending here because, like, white is still a piece up. But it says mate in 7. I didn't see the mate in 7 when I decided to play this. I just decided that, like, there should be something here. If I can get this far, I'll figure it out. And then I examine the other options a little more, which I think is the key to solving these light chess puzzles. Chess active, welcome. Definitely not queen takes d3. You're just down a piece there. So this is our next puzzle, so we can look at something fresh. This is another one of those things that happen in 13 moves, so I'm always tempted to see the whole game. This funny f3 against Najdorf. It's a good meme. So apparently after white takes back with a pawn here, it's Tactics McGee all over again. Chess active, do you only play in Las Vegas? I think you said you work on the Strip or something, right? Oh, I didn't know you'd only been at your job for 1 year. Well, that's exciting. Paid time off coming up. That's nice. I just learned that PTO means paid time off. Acronyms are really hard for me for some reason. So when I met you in person, you had just gotten that job pretty much. Like 3 months prior or something. In a blitz game, I would probably play something like knight g4 here, which allows knight takes c6, pawn takes c6, queen takes d8, rook takes d8. Mass simplifications, probably bishop d4. So I imagine that knight g4 is not that good, even if it is the move that I would probably play under duress. I mostly do computer work, so I recently was able to play in Beal, where they have one game a day, and it was the best thing because I was able to continue doing my regular work during the tournament, which is like tiring, but not as tiring as playing double rounds. So it's a really good trade-off where I didn't even have to take time off really. Shai's pointing out that PTO means other things. That's the problem with acronyms. It could mean anything. North American Open is in December, right, Chess Active? I was hoping to go somewhere else, but if I can't get the funds together, maybe I could try North American. Yeah, that'd be cool. We could get together. December 26th. Yeah. That makes sense. And that one is like, what? Is it 9 rounds? 7 rounds? Is it like a full-size tournament? Or is it a fun-sized one? Higher than National? Sometimes I'm tempted to play open section just to, like, I don't know, have some like statistically higher chance of just gaining rating, so I could go over 2200 because people respect that a lot. But then I remember that it doesn't matter, so I would probably play a lower section. So maybe here bishop c5 or something, but it all seems like knight c6 is the problem. But a slow move like knight e5 here doesn't appear to be that threatening, like for a tactics puzzle. So maybe start with knight d4, and I'm responding to queen d4 with something clever. I think against bishop d4, I have bishop c5. And they have to support that bishop, probably with like rook d1. And here, something might happen. I'm not totally sure. I'm gonna drop a quote for all you people on Twitch. I wonder if it could be something with knight e4. Otherwise, I'm not sure how anything is fast enough. Maybe it's also bishop b4 with the idea of knight e4, where I'm just kind of saying I don't care if you take on c6. But the problem is I do care. I care deeply. I don't want them to do such things. So maybe I could do something where I like take on d2 and deflect the bishop at some point. Like they play knight takes c6, I just take. My issue with bishop c5 here is that they'll take on c6. And if I, well actually I can play queen d2 there, so that's actually the thing I was just talking about. Yeah, it does work. So the other thing is they can play rook d1, so maybe we should look at that. So let's say they play rook d1. Well, bishop c5 is probably the first move because we were having trouble with knight c6 in like every line, so we could at least play this. And so rook d1 is it. Maybe queen b6 or something, threatening rook d8. Idea to meet like knight c6 with bishop e3, but then there's knight a4. I don't think knight a4 can be tolerated. It doesn't sound like a puzzle? What do you mean? It definitely is a puzzle. Can't you see from its name that it's puzzle #S4VD3? You know, when I say it like that, it really doesn't sound like a puzzle. It sounds like a CAPTCHA to prove I'm not a robot. Yeah, the light chess puzzles are really basically like you're playing a miniature chess game. But I've reconciled with that. Since my expectation is no longer that it's like a regular chess puzzle, I consider this to be kind of like just playing the game. It's like concentrated critical moments of chess games. I mean, why not try to find all the top stockfish moves? I think as long as the puzzles are reasonably well curated, to the it's not that bad. At least in the rating level where I'm playing. I'm not sure that at the highest rating bracket on light chess the puzzles are reasonable. They might not be, but I'm not there yet, so I'm cool with this. The positions I've been getting are interesting and understandable after I think about it for a while, which could be useful, I think. Yeah, puzzles where it's like you get a no. I think a pawn advantage means something for a human. I think it's really just important to try to adjust and understand what the solution is telling you. At any rate, I don't have the solution yet for this puzzle, so let's see what else could be done. Yeah, I'm drinking critical moments from Concentrate. Sure, maybe it's not the highest quality, but it gets the job done. Chess Active is arguing that because Magnus has blown -7 positions, that -1 means nothing. I strongly disagree. That kind of reasoning can justify just not studying any kind of chess and saying that nothing means anything because someone has messed up before. I don't think it's facts. I think it's just that we have different opinions. So now the queen is protected. I'm not entirely sure what's next. Maybe knight g4 now, so that when they take, I'm hitting the rook. And after knight g4, knight takes c6, I can play bishop takes e3 check. I think this is it. Oh, come on. Seriously? Alright, I take this first. Went a little fast there. Knight g4 is the right move. I kind of lost interest once I found the important parts, I guess. That's probably something to work on. I'm in check. That is not desirable. I could take, but then they have queen d6. That's the issue here. And if I guess now I just have to eliminate all the moves that I could play. So so if I take, they go here. And I don't have any real choice about what to play now. I could block with the knight, or I can move my king onto a light square. And I think no matter which one I choose, they will take back. If they take back with the bishop, then I might be able to get counterplay with, for example, rook c8. But if they take with the queen, I might be earning back some pawns, but it's otherwise... No, I'm not even winning pawns. I think it's just an equal position. So, probably not taking this knight. King c7 is attacking the knight, so that makes sense. But then there's queen e7. And we can see how well that went. maybe it's not so bad. Excuse me. For instance, knight d7. And now they have a bishop hanging and a knight hanging. So they would probably play something like knight d4, protecting the bishop. And if I take the knight, then they have queen d7. So probably allowing them to add in this move, queen e7, is not so good. So of course I should play king e8 and run into queen e7 checkmate. I think at this late hour I have justified the move king c8 somewhat. They will get this move, knight e7 check. I could play one of probably king b8. I don't know. There's actually a similar problem here, where if they go back to c6 and I take it, they can play queen d6. So king c7 still seems like kind of interesting, but then maybe my next move is just not knight d7, it's king c8. Now if they attempt knight d4, I can just take it. And if they protect their bishop with a pawn, I can just take on c6. So I think this is it. There's none of those. Wait, what is this? Did I not play all the moves that don't lose? Oh, we can take and then take their queen. I didn't think about this because at the end they can take this, but I think the bishop's trapped. Oh, no, not quite trapped. Hold on, so why is this the answer? I think this part is all forced. Alright, so it says this is the line. This position, it says it's like -3 engine evaluation. It's interesting. Very interesting puzzle. I mean, I like black more. It's just that evaluating it so high is what's difficult. So, but, you know, even if this position is, you know, -1 or something, like, maybe let's say it's smaller. If I didn't evaluate this correctly, that's more important. Well, this one is actually like -1. Okay, I consider this one like still a success because it's just knowing the difference between this position being -1 and the other position being -3. I think white still has some serious problems here. Like, oh, they have a checkmate threat, knight e7. So maybe they don't have such significant problems. Alright, I just want to compare this with the main line real quick. Here our king is much more active and we have threats against these pawns, so I can see that being worth some advantage. But also the advantage is coming down. Like, as I analyze it more with the engine, it was decreasing. I'm not sure if that's a consistent pattern or not. Oh well. Yeah, there are stupid puzzles everywhere. I think the stupidest puzzles that I've seen are on Chess Tempo. not sure we're necessarily looking to make somebody resign, though. Like, yeah, that'd be nice, but I'm just trying to play the best move. You know, I don't know what that looks like or what I want my opponent to do about it. I just want to play a good move. Now here, I could trade everything and lose the game instantly. That'd be really fantastic. I take, of course, what else? Take, and promote to a queen. So we're not doing that. I think the first move is obvious. I should probably play king g8. Is there a problem with this? Maybe they'll play knight h6. Oh, it's illegal, so I'm good. I lost 12 points for this. How is it possible? Seriously? Oh, I can push. Okay. That makes sense. Because there was a mate threat, so a little hasty there. My evaluation of that was a little bit too brisk. Should have slowed down for that final position. I can force trade to a pawn endgame here. That seems promising. So, well, first of all, I can't be losing if I play that. And I think that if I don't trade, black has all the chances to hold the game because of this pressure on g2. So let's do that. Now the real puzzle here is, do I take on c4? They can't queen because it's a back rank mate, just active in that last puzzle. I can't see the GIF that you posted, but I can guess the spirit of it. So I'll come check that out later. Oh wait, I need to switch windows. Yeah, for real. Let's see. I thought initially to take with the pawn, but we could probably also win like this. Actually, no, because king d6, king b5, king d5, king a5, king c5 is a trap, I think. Actually, no, we have king a4, and that wins, probably. Not without counterplay. They go here. Not without incident. No, we're definitely winning quickly. Now taking with the pawn on the other hand, that could be counterplay. Because they'll play a4. And I probably need to play c5 to get my king over fast enough to stop this pawn that appears. And that's not so good, so I'm going to take with the king. How is it not king b5? Let's be real. Is to go back? Is this a draw? Oh no, they have to give up territory either way. But is this not also winning? Seriously, I'm not winning this race? It's a draw. Okay. So that was another situation where I went quickly. So after king d4, obviously I'm gaining some territory. So this is kind of a no-brainer move. I often miss these kinds of simple things. So I'm cool with experiencing that. Just reiterating that I need to look for these simple things, even when it looks like it's winning some other way. I'm in check. Why am I always in check? Well, if I go here, there's knight takes h4 with check. So probably I'm not playing that. King f1 I can probably rule out because I don't want my king on e2. And after knight h2... I don't know if it's that clear, actually. Because after knight h2, I could play king g2, and it's different. If I play king h1, I think queen c6 is a thing. If I try something like rook takes d7, well, maybe they can actually play such things. I don't know if I can get this just by direct comparison of king f1 and king h1, but I'm gonna try. King f1 doesn't have any downsides that I can see that are immediate. I can answer knight h2 with king g2, and that'll come with tempo because the knight will be misplaced. I don't think the knight is necessarily better on g4 than it is on f3, so I'm not sure I really care about allowing the transfer knight h2, king g2, knight g4. In particular with this exchange of rooks in between, because the rook's hanging. After king h1, queen c6, I can actually just take this for free, probably. Because if they take on c1, then they can't take back, and if they play queen d7, there's probably something here. Not sure what exactly. I think queen takes h5. Yeah, queen h5 is probably good. I don't see anything with queen d1, king g2. Maybe a perpetual at knight e1. Actually, that wins the queen. So, I'm not sure I actually want to do that. Alright, looks like I have to run, probably after this puzzle. Queen d1 is not just one check, because they have perpetual, right? So let's say we did this line, because it's a pretty forcing line. If I take this pawn, which of course I don't have to do, but I'm not sure why I went for queen h6 if it's not to take this pawn. You know, if I take it, then they have check on d1. I have no legal move except for king g2, and then knight e1 check. The queen's hanging, so I don't think it's like queen d1 is just one check. And if I try something else with my queen here, then like let's just say I do something. I don't know where it goes, but like queen d1 check. My king is here. I have to go here. Knight e1 check. King h2. Knight f3 check. So the only way I could avoid is if I go to h3, but then there's queen g4 check depending on where the where the white queen goes. So I think there's a very high likelihood of counterplay there, and for that reason, I just think it should be king f1, and I'll die on that hill. I'm okay with it. It was none of the above, actually. It was king g2. Allow this thing, which of course demands investigation. I should probably have done that in the first place. Alright, so what gives? The rook's hanging and the knight's hanging. That's the main thing, I would say. But I also expected them to take first. So is there a problem with this? Well, the knight's just trapped, actually. That is probably something that I should have thought about in general. Like, in this first position, it's like, what are the problems with black's position? I looked at this knight and I thought it was active, like a good knight, well placed. But when I look at it further, it really doesn't have any squares. Interesting. So this is probably an example of how schematic thinking could be improved on for me. That's just a sort of abstract, higher level thing that I should think about before I even begin calculating. Like, how are black's pieces doing? Not doing so good. Giving away a pawn to trap the knight is not that crazy. I think it's definitely doable. Okay, guys. I have to run. I have real life obligations because I have a job and stuff like that. So, thanks for tuning in, and you guys can look forward to some more fun stuff this weekend. I have scheduled a fan fight, so 2 people are going to duke it out on stream with my live commentary. I'm just trying to pull up my schedule right now. You can see all my scheduled things on YouTube, and I'm going to schedule some other stuff in between those. I have a couple uploads coming out. But yeah, stay in touch. I don't think I'm under 2100 for North American, but I haven't checked. Probably under 2300. Also, you guys can join my Discord if you want. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. I really gotta go. Take care. Good luck with your